Aloha everyone and welcome to InsPOWration, a TV show that focuses on inspirational people and the inspirational things that they do. My name is Devin Nakasone, I'll be your host. Today is a great show. We've got Alexandra Roth and I've learned over the few months that I'm getting to know her how well-rounded of a person she is. Not only is she talented in singing, which is how we met through karaoke, or I should say in Waikiki karaoke. And basically, I met her through that and learned that she's also a pageant winner. She's Miss Kahala, and at 20 years old, she's already graduated from University of Hawaii at Manoa with a double major, right? Wow. And more importantly, the inspirational side of her. And I'm going to let her basically discuss all of that with me. So with no further ado, I'd like to present Alex. I like to call her Alex. So Alex Roth. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, so you are Miss Kahala going for Miss Hawaii, and then the big one, which is
Miss America.
Miss America. And you know, I've got to judge one of the pageants, and I have to say that it is very, very stressful. It's a lot of things that I once thought, going through the judging process, I've learned that it wasn't what I thought. And not only are you beautiful, and I know that you're talented because I heard you sing, but your platform, with that email that came through, explaining what your platform is and the why. You know, everything with us is about the why factor. And so I'd like you to explain to the InsPOWration viewers on what your platform is.
Sure. Well, like you mentioned, pageantry isn't all that you think it is. It's not just the glamour of the heels and the makeup. We also have a huge service aspect too. And one of the cool things about the Miss Hawaii and Miss America organization is that each of us have a personal platform that we advocate throughout the year. So mine is Youth Empowering Youth, which is a movement to encourage young people that they are powerful and that they can do amazing things with their own lives and their communities. So the mission is to empower youth through peer engagement and through what I like to call the 4 Ps: purpose, passion, preparation, and performance.
Okay, and this is the part that actually inspired me in reading the 4 Ps. So can you explain to me, like how you explained in that email, what the 4 Ps and how the synergy goes together?
Sure. So starting out with purpose, everyone has a purpose. And I think that young people need to realize that they have a purpose too, and that their purpose can be something that's very positive for their own futures and for their communities. But in order to find that, I think there's a sense of self-confidence and self-motivation that needs to take place. And that can be done through passion, the second point. Following what you love to do, whether it's playing a sport or music, photography, or building robots, whatever it is, we need to encourage our young people to continue what they love doing, because that's where we figure out what we're good at and what we're meant to do. And so in order to succeed in those passions, we need to have preparation, or I should say, to succeed in anything, we need to be prepared. And that's where education and skill building really plays a huge role. You know, there are so many resources out there provided for us through our school system, just through our lives, and young people need to see those learning opportunities and be able to take full advantage of them. And then finally, the 4th P is performance. And that's kind of taking all these points and putting it together. And it's taking part in some sort of positive action, or doing that physical thing that really benefits our futures and our communities. And what I've found the best way to do that is by volunteering. In fact, those who volunteer are twice as likely to thrive because, you know, they're learning valuable skills, they're building character, and forming relationships that really lead to success.
You know, this is so interesting. Hearing you speak today brings me back. I'm 41 today, and learning this at learning this at you're 20. Oh, I feel old, but learning this. I started learning a lot of these things at 38, you know, and how you speak about volunteering, how you speak about finding your passion, and the 4 Ps, as you say, and everyone's given these 4 Ps. It's just about basically organizing it, right, and making it work together as how a wheel turns, and that's this is why that your platform is as great as it is. When I was going through my things, of course, everyone knows that I'm a cancer survivor, and going through that, and then in my drug abuse for 10 years, I've always had a passion. There was a lot of things that I've loved and exercised, but I never put it into play. It took me 30 years or so to realize what my purpose was. At the age of 40, I found out what my purpose was, and that was the year that I celebrated a different life, you know. And going through what I went through, I've never had these kind of role models in place, or maybe there was, but maybe, I guess a big key thing is awareness, you know, which is why the pageantry is so great, because it puts all of you pageant contestants or winners or whatnot into a specific spotlight to where you can focus what your mission is, you know. And whether you get the crown or not, it's just that placement that you have, and it's a doorway and a road to all these other roads that take you to spread this awareness in youth powering youth. And I find that so key. I'm truly honored to have met you at that barbecue, the new you, because I just knew you as Alex, the karaoke host, and you'd be singing, and to get to know you that way over barbecue was amazing. We just had to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Know, and you said yes that day, and here we are, you know. And it falls so in line, your youth empowering youth falls so much in line with Prayers on Wings, which is our mission is to build bridges of communication, and more importantly, closer to yours, is inspire others through crisis. You know, so I guess what I would have to ask you is your why. Where did this youth empowering youth come from? I mean, it goes all. I mean, I know you're only 20, but you must have gone through something, which was a life-changing moment to bring you to where you are today.
Yeah, definitely. Several things inspired me and helped really form what Youth Empowering Youth is today. But I think it goes back to when I was in middle school or high school. I was going through a challenging time, as I think a lot of other people are through that, through those years. I was just in a place where I felt really lost and kind of struggling through this identity crisis, I guess you could say. And I think that's what got me to be really attached to this one friend I had who, let's just say, was more of a negative influence on me than a positive one. You know, in fact, at one point, we were trying to convince our parents to let us transfer schools or drop out of school entirely. But I think during that experience, I also had a role model, and I also found my passion, which was musical theater.
Okay.
And so my friend Anna, who is still my role model today, she started a nonprofit theater company with her mom when she was about 14 or 15 years old. So as I started to take part in this community theater organization, I really found that I loved to sing, I loved to perform, and what we would do was we would take the ticket proceeds and we would donate them to hospitals or to help at-risk youth. And at the time, I didn't realize I was doing something so great for my community. I was just like, oh, I love singing, I love dancing and performing. I just want to continue this and be with people that share the same interests as me. And so as I got closer to Anna and got more involved with the theater organization, I also found that her presence itself played a huge role in me finding who I was too.
Very cool. Okay, so music, very important to you. Music is very important to me. And I guess it's that way of communicating, expressing yourself. When you do that, I guess you find out who you are in a spiritual sense. That's how I describe music. You know, before we go any further, since Alex is talking about her role model, Anna, and doing music together, I think we have a clip that we can show of this magical person that helped start this magic here. So why don't we roll that clip?
Sure. Yeah.
When hope is high and life worth living, I dream that love would never die. I dream that God would be forgiving.
So
we couldn't hear it here, but we could see it, but we couldn't hear it.
well, when you do hear it, you'll find that Anna's a really incredible singer.
Yeah,
She's
okay.
actually the one who taught me how to sing, really.
Okay.
And the other thing that was so incredible about her, aside from her being able to sing and start a theater company on her own, is that she also is a bit of a child prodigy. She started college when she was 13 years old, graduated high school and college at 17 or 18, went on to med school, and last year graduated from med school at 21. So she's pretty much on her way to becoming the youngest female doctor in our nation.
Wow,
But yeah, you can just imagine, growing up with an influence like that. For me, I was just so inspired by the fact that, she was a 15-year-old who was so determined and so driven and was able to exceed everyone's expectations of what a 15-year-old should be. And so in that way, I kind of wanted to exceed my own expectations. And I was able to follow in her footsteps in a way, but create my own path. I also started college a little early through a program called Running Start. And now I'm proud to say that I was able to graduate with a double major at 19 years old and save my family a bunch of money in college tuition dollars.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, that's one way to do it. Do it like that. Do it that early, and money always plays a big part in education.
Definitely, but I think more so than just graduating early, it was really for me finding out that I could do something out of the norm that would benefit my future and help me create my own success. That was really eye-opening to me, and that was something that I find is really encouraging for other young people as well, and that's really why I wanted to start Youth Empowering Youth, is so that we can find these inspirations and these role models in our life to help us do something that's more than just ourselves and more than what we think we can do, or to help us find those goals. Because I really want to encourage young people that they can do anything they set their mind to. And that's exactly what I've done, and that's what helped me get this far in life right now.
Very cool. Okay, so I guess, my question would be right now is listening to you. So you got your double major at 19. You was in music, and I know you must have been busy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how did pageantry come into play? When did that start? How did you get involved? You obviously have this thing for looking for inspiration or seeking certain things that key into you. So how did pageantry come into that?
I gotta say that was Anna as well. She was involved with the Miss America or Miss Hawaii Outstanding Teen program while she was doing all these theater productions. And for me, at first, I was like, wow, that's so cool. She's on stage. She's gonna be a princess. And but also what I found was that she was doing a lot of community service at the same time. She was earning scholarship money before she had even gone to college. And she was really honing in a lot of skills for her own success. She always credits her med school interviews to the interview that she prepared for with the pageant. And I'm really finding now that the preparation that goes into pageantry is really, it really plays a part in my own life as well. I'm able to speak much more clearly. I'm able to network. And I've really found who I am through this organization. And that's what I really like about it. And that's why I encourage other young women to do it as well.
Okay. And so the pageantry, not what everyone thinks or what it used to be, I should say, right? Because it's growing and growing into more of a humanitarian thing. I guess it's going for the individual to be well-rounded, to be, I know it's physically fit, I know it's self-esteem, confidence, but humble. Having a passion, having a platform, being devoted to that platform, which is basically a lifetime commitment to serving, right? And the other pageant contestants that I got to judge on that, I believe it was Miss Diamond Head and Miss Kakako. Amazing women, just blew me away, and it was amazing and it was just uplifting to know that it's in the youth and in the next generation. And I guess when you go to work every day and you do this and you do that and you got bills, oftentimes inspiration can be right in front of you, but you don't see it. You know, and it's really the person's mind and how open it is, which makes you not able to see it or see it. So, with that to be said, how hard is it in your everyday life to keep your mind open and focused at 20 years old? You know, with what's ahead. So, what is ahead?
You know, I'm still trying to figure that out. But going back to what keeps my mind open, I think another influence that I've had was from my father. When I was 15 years old and, you know, going through a lot of this struggle, he came to me and he said, "What's your purpose in life?" And that's kind of where this, you know, purpose point in Youth Empowering Youth comes from. Because he asked me that, and I was like, you know, I was 15 years old. I was like, I don't know what I want to do in my future. I don't know who I want to take to prom or what I want to wear tomorrow. Like, how am I supposed to figure out my purpose, right? But I got to thinking about it, and I came back to him a few weeks later, and I was like, okay, I got it. I found my life purpose. It is to inspire. And so ever since then, the things that I do with my life, I try to become someone who might inspire others as well. And that's what I want to continue to do with my life. You know, currently I'm focusing on winning Miss Hawaii and hopefully Miss America. But ultimately, I still haven't figured out, a career goal. I'm currently pursuing my master's in business administration. I'm thinking about going to law school. But whatever it is, I really just want to continue to fulfill my life purpose and to inspire others, to create positive change, and to make our community a better place to be.
That's actually a very huge responsibility. It is a commitment, and I know personally it has its ups and downs, and you know, focusing on just that, and then your everyday life, and sometimes it collides with each other, you know, and always your just a story about your father brings me back to a time with my dad. I think my dad and your dad would really get along. You know, my dad's no longer here, but there's a lot of things that he has taught me over the years of my good and bad. You know, so finding your purpose. You know, I remember my dad taking me to the park, and he would ask me, "What do I see?" You know, and this is the way he taught me. And I didn't understand the question. He'd make me sit there for 3-4 hours. What do you see? What do you see? I'm like, I used to get mad at him. And I see a tree. I see cars. I used to be mad.
Sounds like my dad already.
Right. It's like Mr. Miyagi, right? So and finally, I asked him. I asked him, "What do you see?" Because I didn't understand, but it took me a long time to get into to ask him, "What do you see?" And he said, "That tree that you see, I see a house. I see paper for children in school. I see shade from the rain. I see shade from the sun. I see a home for birds." And he went on and on and on and on, and I'm like, wow. All I saw was a tree. You know, and then he would ask me, "What do you?" And it was all things like, what do I hear? You know, I'm like, cars, same thing. I didn't understand, you know, so I asked him, "What do you hear?" And then he would tell me, "Well, that car that you heard that was honking his horn, I hear an angry man trying to get home. Maybe he has to go to the bathroom. Maybe an accident almost happened but didn't. I hear an ambulance. Going by, not only do I hear an ambulance, but I hear someone praying for that person in the ambulance." I mean, he just went on, and I'm like, wow, this is so heavy. And this is at like maybe 16.
Yeah.
You know, so he taught me things like look to see, hear to listen. You know, and now that he's gone, it plays in my life today. You know, and this is how I run. This is really how I try to run Prayers on Wings. And it's because inspiration sometimes can be invisible, but it can be like right there. You know, but you have to see it. It's kind of like a spiritual thing. It's like a tree. You see a tree, it's just a tree. But if you really look into that tree and ask it what it survived, those hurricanes, the storms, what did it see? All the children that played around it and all the generation that came to visit it. You know, you just see this whole enlightening thing. And you get this at 20. You know, it took me many mistakes. Like I said, for me it took a 10-year drug habit. It took surviving leukemia. Was one of the blessed ones. I watched many people not survive from it. It took 4.5 years of chemo for me to get to where I'm at. and all the wonderful people that are still in my life, and all the ones that don't want nothing to do with me because of all the bridges that I've burned, all serve a purpose today. And I cannot wait to see what comes up in your future. As much as it looks like I'm stalking you, I'm not. I'm just interested.
No.
I'm just interested in Alex's life because she's very well-rounded and very, very amazing. When is
Thank you.
this Miss Hawaii pageant going to take place?
Well, it's coming up May 30th, and then Miss America is going to take place in September. So I've had my Miss Kahala title since November, and I've been preparing since then. But I really think that the experiences in my life have really prepared me for competing in this pageant. Because like you said, it's about being well-rounded. And so all the experiences that have come to me, everything that I've gone through, everything that I've learned from my role models, from my life experiences, have prepared me for this competition now. It has prepared me for the way I live my life every day and how I plan to continue to live my life. So I'm just excited, I'm ready.
Okay, so would you advise all young women out there that have dreams, that are inspired to do more, to get in contact with someone in the pageantry circuit?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And are you one of them that they can contact?
Sure, of course they can
And
contact
you're
me.
on Facebook and all of that. I know I'm personal friends with Sherry Tefflinger, and I was honored to be one of the judges in her 3 Outstanding Young Persons Award last year.
Wow.
And she's an amazing woman. And we reconnected with each other over the year. And she's a great role model too. Very powerful, very confident woman. And
Yeah,
she kicks butt.
definitely.
So
She's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, she's awesome, beautiful, and talented in every aspect. Man, I don't even know where to go next, except to ask you. We got a children's book coming up. And I'm only asking, I'm not putting her on the spot, guys. What I'm doing is I asked her before, but I want it to be taped because we have a children's book coming up. Prayers on Wings has a children's book coming up. And I've already asked Alex if she would want to read. And basically it's my story about a boy with cancer going through chemo and having a best friend that's a rubber duck. And basically deciding in the book that he, instead of crying to the duck and sharing his experiences with a toy, that he would turn to his mom and dad instead, which is something that I didn't do because everything was so physical to have me survive to the next day that no one knew that I was dying inside. So I've asked Alex if she would be a reader.
And of course I will.
And she said yes. So this is really cool because I don't know if you've heard or saw on Facebook, I have 350 students in Aliamanu to read to.
It's incredible. And I would love to help out in any way that I can.
So I'm going to do this one. It's a 3-day book solid schedule of readings and see how that goes. And then whoever are our readers, I'll be able to share the experience. It was more so how fulfilling it was. It's so cool because I cried like maybe a week and a half ago because in 6th grade I got taken out of school. I was put into a hospital room with 3 walls, nurses that I never knew. These were my new aunties and uncles and best friends now. My best friends were other patients that were literally not surviving. They were dying before my eyes. And life was very scary. And what once was a healthy young boy now became a patient in a hospital. So to go, it's like I got blessed with a time machine, at 41. And I got to go back to school, read to children in different grades, and be in school again. And not as a cancer patient, but as a cancer survivor, being able to share my experiences with other children. And all I asked for is that I wanted to eat a school lunch because I missed out on half a year of school lunches. And I missed that. I missed the cafeteria. And realizing this opportunity, realizing this invisible time machine, I broke down and I cried. And I'm holding it back right now. It's like starting to water. But I'm not going to do it. In fact, we tried to do a taping of the book a few shows back, and I couldn't get through it. In fact, we had to cut tape, and I had to stop, and everything. So maybe we can do another show on the book, but that depends if I start or stop crying. But I'm so glad that you taken the position to read.
Absolutely.
Of course, what we're going to do is, I guess we will have you choose where you want to read and see if we can get our foot in the door from there, and have you as an official reader / volunteer for this book. And
I would love to.
And yeah, and then we got the audio equipment too, so you don't strain your voice. I know you got a lot of things coming up, a lot of speaking things, and you always got to keep in top shape, right?
Definitely, and as a singer as well, as you know, we always got to keep in top shape. But
Right.
youth empowerment starts at any age, so I'm so excited to be reading your book,
That'd be awesome.
to
That'd be
share it with
awesome.
everyone.
And of course, the bookings we can book it for as long as you want, because from the readings, get through the reading, share the mission, and then from there you can go on to explaining who you are and make the class your own. The book will just be a tool, basically, of what you are there for, but just a foot in the door. So we're running out of time. I would love to have you back.
Thank you,
You
yes.
know, after the pageant and all of that, when your schedule
Sure.
starts settling down. So again, Alex Roth, thank you so much for being here. Miss
Thank
Kahala,
you. I had a
looking
great time.
forward to big things and empowering youth. Again, thank you to Olelo Channel 55 and the 501c3 nonprofit Prayers on Wings. My name is Devin Nakasone with our guest Alex Roth. Alex Roth, that's right. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon. Take care.